So I'm just doing my work in class, and something just told me to look to my left, cause like I'm sitting like by the door, like I'm sitting like this, and the door is like this. So something just told me to look to my left. I look to my left. I see a kid with he had like a big gun, it was like an AR, with he got he got his head sticking out the door with the gun, and then he just started. Then I got up, I started running. He started shooting like 10 times. He shot at least 10 times. And then I ran to the back of the classroom. I dived behind the desk, and my teacher had got in front of me, like he was guarding me. But like the gunshots were so close to me, like my ears started ringing real bad. Like the whole classroom was smoking, like, and everything. And then when he finally got out of the classroom, my teacher started barricading the door with desks and bookshelves and all that. And then I had got up. When I had got up, I had saw one of my classmates on the ground bleeding so bad. And then when I had moved myself to the other side of the room, because the bookshelf I was hiding behind, it was right in front of the door. So I had moved to the other side, to like this side with my friend. I was checking on my other friend because he got grazed in his leg. And then there was a white girl that was in front of me. She got shot in her leg and stuff. And then my other friend got shot in her stomach. And it was just so sad, stuff like that.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
And you're so young. You're how old?
14.
That's so much to have to process in class where you're supposed to feel safe.
Yeah.
How are you doing now? I mean, what's going through your mind?
Like, it just keep replaying back in my head. I just thank God that I wasn't the one that got hit, you know. Like, in the midst of all of it happening, I was just thanking God because, you know, he had his hands around me and stuff like that. Because I could have been the one that got hit because I was right there. He could have easily got me, but God had his hands around me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us. I know that was hard. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shanir, and this is Talking Crime. Today, we're going to talk about a sensitive topic that kind of took me a couple of minutes to, get myself together because this is too close to home. Now, yesterday around 10:30ish, the police would receive a call from Wanda, Georgia / Barrow County stating that it was a shooting inside of a high school. Appalachian High School would never be the same after yesterday. Unfortunately, four beautiful souls lost their life to gun violence by a 14-year-old named Colt Gray. Y'all, we don't know what he was going through, whether he was suffering from mental health, but what we do know is Colt Gray had an issue before where FBI had to come to his home and speak with his father. Now, what was said is that a person had reached out to the FBI stating that a person that was doing gaming was threatening to shoot up his school and showing pictures of guns. Unfortunately, if this was nipped in the bud then, this situation that happened yesterday would not have happened. You guys, FBI went to Colt Gray's home, spoke with the father. Colt Gray denied everything, and the father admitted that he did have hunting guns in the house that Colt could not get to without adult supervision. So FBI had nothing to hold Colt Gray on, leading up to now this sad, tragic event that Colt Gray done.
Here at Appalachian High School, he'll be charged with murder, and he has been booked. He will be tried as an adult as well. Now, 11 Alive, we went to his home, which is about 6 miles away from the high school, and we watched as multiple agencies, they spent hours searching the home. Now we're learning from the FBI that Gray was investigated by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office last year after he allegedly posted photos of guns online threatening to commit a school shooting. Now the Sheriff's Office interviewed Gray and his father, who said there were guns inside the house, but the teen did not have unsupervised access to those guns. students. Now, the sheriff's office, they say they did alert local schools for continued monitoring, but there was no probable cause for arrest. Now, neighbors that we spoke to, they say the suspect lived at his home with his dad and his younger siblings. And a neighbor who lives across the street says she would only see the younger siblings and never knew the teen lived there until yesterday when she saw him waiting for the bus for the first time. Take a listen.
He had on jeans, a dark or black zip-up hoodie with the hood up, and a black backpack. I don't know. I just felt odd. So hours later, this starts unfolding, and then my grandson sends me a picture that's one of the students at Appalachia snapped of the shooter when he had his gun in his hand. And he said, "Gigi, is this who you saw?" And that was the boy. And that's terrifying.
Now, 11 Alive did attempt to speak to his father, but he declined to speak with us. Sending it now over to Liza Lucas, who is live at Grady. Liza?
Ariana, yes, we're here live at Grady because that was where one of the victims was rushed yesterday following the shooting at Appalachia High. Now, we do know from the last update from the Barrow County Sheriff's Office that all 9 of those that were injured, 8 students, 1 teacher, are expected to recover. But we've also started to learn more about those who were lost yesterday. The 2 teachers, the 2 students. We're going to show you their pictures now. 2 of those math teachers, Christina Aramy, 53 years old. Also math teacher and coach Richard Aspinwall, 39 years old. 2 students, only 14, Christian Angelo and Mason Shermahorn. 11 Alive speaking with students at last night's vigil that was held in the community, one of whom shared a little more about Coach A, as he was called, who taught math again at the high school.
He was a fun dude. He was caring. He really just cared about everyone. He didn't really care about his own feelings. He mostly cared about people first.
Cared about people first. An incredible legacy right there, and one that the community is already working to honor. More than $50,000 has been raised for Coach A's wife and his 2 young children. We also know there's a verified GoFundMe for 14-year-old Christian. It's raised more than $30,000 so far to help with funeral expenses. His sister on that GoFundMe page describing her brother as very sweet, so caring. He was loved by many. And as we continue to learn more about the families, their impact, and what they leave behind, we will continue to bring those stories to you and let you know how you can help on 11alive.com. Sending it back to you guys.
Encouraging to see how the community is showing up to put their arms around the families impacted this morning.
And they will need that for the months and years to come. Appalachia students and students from really all across the metro, they knew the importance of just being together in this moment. They came into the school last night in Winder for this vigil. Students still in shock over what happened, even former students showing up to support.
It could have been me. And I'm just thankful that I'm here, and I'm sorry for all the families that did lose their babies.
No one deserves to die in school. You can only hear thoughts and prayers so much till you get fed up with it.
Barrow County schools are out for the rest of the week, but they will have those grief counselors on hand 12 hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the district office. That will be today and tomorrow.
Now, Colt Gray was new to Appalachia High School. He haven't been here only but about a month because, again, in Georgia, certain schools started August 1st. So we know that he was a newbie at the school. Now, if he was saying that he was going to shoot up a school in Jackson County already, we don't even know what was Colt Gray's reason for shooting up this particular school. Unfortunately, a lot of people was hurt and people lost their lives. 4 people, 2 teachers, math teachers, and 2 students lost their lives, and 9 others injured and sent to hospitals. A lot of them were reported as gun injuries, and they said it was 1 teacher and the rest were students. You guys, these children will give their tragic events, their tragic memories of what actually happened. I mean, this situation is terribly bad. It's very sad. And on 2 different ends, like, it's heartbreaking. I don't know what Colt Gray was suffering at home, at school, or whatever it was, but he had already had this situation into play before even getting to Wanda High Schools. And we don't even know why he was even transferred from Jackson County to Barrow County. You guys, he lived in a home with his father and other siblings, it was said. And news and everybody else will get a lot of interviews from students, faculty, and family members about this tragic event.
A stretcher there up the stairs. We're, of course, following the latest. And Phil, you're getting an update now?
Yeah, so Diane, this is important. We're getting now our first real inside account of what may have happened inside that school. Sergio Caldera is a 17-year-old who was inside that school, just did an interview with ABC News on the phone. Sergio tells us he was in chemistry class by his approximation about 11:01 this morning when he and his classmates heard a gunshot ring out at Appalachia High School there in Winder, Georgia. He says, quote, "My teacher goes and opens the door to see what's going on. Another teacher comes running in, tells her to close the door." The senior then said, he's a senior at the school, that his teacher locked the door. His classmates ran to the back of the room. They huddled up, were the words he used, as they heard screams coming from what he said sounded like the classroom next door. Then at some point, he heard someone pounding on the door to his classroom, screaming, open up, multiple times. He says, quote, "I'm pretty sure the shooter tried to open our door," he told us. When the knocking stopped, obviously a sigh of relief, he then heard more shots and more screams. Said his class was eventually evacuated around 11:30, 11:40 out to the football stadium where we see these kids now. But Diane, that is a heart-pounding, horrific description of the kind of school shootings we have seen over the last 30 years. Kids huddled in a classroom, locking the door. But, thank heaven the teacher locked the door. They followed protocols. And it appears from what this student tells us, this one senior, that the shooter may have been trying to get into his classroom.
Unfortunately, Mason, Richard, Kristen, and Christine all lost their lives. This story hit close to home. I'm not that far from Barrow County / Wanda, Georgia at all. Those schools in Wanda are very good schools, to the point where people in my town would transfer their kids or move just to make sure their kids are going to a school that they're learning pretty good, that's calm, cool, and collected. And Appalachia High School is one of them, as well as Wanda Barrow High School. Unfortunately, none of these kids are able to return back to school today because they are all shooken up, suffering from anxiety, like their minds are all over the place at 14, 17, 16, 18 years old. They are distraught of what happened to their fellow classmates and teachers, to the point where some of those children were having to drag a teacher in the class and try to perform CPR or put pressure on a teacher's wound. This is devastating. Teachers were having to try to put their lives in danger to save students and get them in the classroom and lock classroom doors, to the point where this young man was just walking to school, shooting the school up. Coming from one county, Jackson County, Jefferson County, all them counties are very close to Wanda. A lot of people like transferring their children to these outskirt schools from Athens, and that's where I live, Athens. So this is shameful. This is heartbreaking. This is devastating. Y'all, when I say the internet was exploding with all this stuff, not only that, platforms. I have so many family and friends that are on my social media pages from Athens, or like the move to Wanda Barrow or move to surrounding counties, all for their children to have a better school opportunity, or just a calm, cool, and collected life, only to realize that no matter where we go, something can happen to us. I pray that these families take the necessary steps to get their children the help they need. These children experienced something so tragic. It scared me to my heart, to the point where I was at home thinking everything was fine. And my oldest daughter was at school, sent me a text message with it. And I'm like, school shooting. Why would she be sending me this? Hurry up, clicked on it, and realized that it was only like 20 minutes from me. 20 minutes from me. A school that I also thought was good schools. At one point in time, when it was time to move, thought about moving to this county for my kids to get a better opportunity far as schooling. These kids was there to learn. And unfortunately, this person with a mental illness, I'm not even sure, allegedly, mental illness, planned it and executed it and broke so many people's hearts and ripped apart so many people's lives. There were 9 other people sent to the hospital, and a lot of them was gunshot wounds to nearby hospitals. Hospitals that I either applied at as a CNA, because I am a CNA, or have worked at. So close to home. We need to stop taking things for granted. These schools need to put better action plans into actions. I remember when I was in Baltimore and I was going to middle school and I had to have a clear book bag and it was metal detectors. They had only one entrance. They had a lot of, exit doors and stuff, but the main office was the entrance. And where that entrance was, it was metal detectors on each side. If they can have it at jobs, and I have worked at jobs with metal detectors in Georgia, they can also put it inside the schools. Our children need to feel safe. I got a son that goes to Clark Central High School. I got a daughter that go to BHL Middle School. And I will be terrified and in fear if I don't even know if my child is even in the school safely or trying to get out of the school. These parents were having to get off work or send loved ones to hurry up to a school that's supposed to be safe for these children to make sure that their child was safe. There's a lot of people in my county and also surrounding counties, not only Barrow County, that did not even allow their children to go to school today because they are afraid of what might happen. Now, it was a rumor that was said that it was a list of schools that were basically on this list that they was going to come after next. And they named one of the high schools here in Athens, which is not even that far from the high school that was shot up. Y'all, this hit home. America needs to come together instead of tearing apart. This father stated that his son had no access to his hunting guns, but yet was able to bring a AR rifle onto school property and shoot it up. No, this can't happen anymore. We stand for justice, safety for our children, our loved ones. We just want them to be safe. We want them to go out here and be protected in the next place, which is school. And yesterday, we didn't have that. Georgia had really suffered a tragic situation. And it's going to take a long time to recover and bounce back. But what those children experience, those teachers experience, the staff, the janitors, the cafeteria workers, the librarian, all of those people will forever torn apart. The experience was horrific, devastating, and heartbreaking. You guys, let's pray for those families that now have to pick up the pieces. Let's pray for the students, the faculty, and let's give our law enforcement a pat on the back. They all came together to diffuse the situation. And that officer that worked at the school, kudos to you. Because of you, it stopped it. All other possibilities of what could have happened, it stopped it all because you were brave. And we appreciate that in these times, everyone comes together. You guys, please pray for these people that lost their lives, all four of them, and pray for the ones that are in the hospital suffering from this tragic event. My name is Shneer, and this is Talking Crime. Don't forget to like, comment, and tell me your opinion down in the comment section. What can we do to prevent these type of things from happening anywhere in the world? You guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Peace, and stay safe.